Welcome everybody. Hope you're all having a good one, whatever time it is, wherever you're at in the world. Hope you've had a good one today. Today we are in the Group 4 spec Gavril Barstow, and we're going to get underway here, not to waste any time on this super long stage. 15.5 miles into Stint 2, longest stage of Stint 2. Very, very difficult stage to get right. Really, it's just a difficult stage to complete in general, so it's part of it. You'll see I'll take it fairly easy in a couple spots where it's just easy to lose a lot of time or destroy your car. Very difficult to make a lot of time. Not that there's a timer going right now or anything anyways. There will be for the final version of this mod, but nothing yet. If you are new here, by the way, welcome. This is the Rally Italia mod that I am working on. It's kind of a mid-80s based rally. Some of the cars are a little bit older, such as this one. But there'll be Group B cars, and if you want to watch the previous 15 stages, there's some Group B cars, Group 4 cars, things like that. And this isn't the final version of these stages either. There'll be spectators and parked cars and all sorts in the final competition version of the stages. As well as pace notes will be added, which is a big thing, and then weather conditions and things for the final competition version, just to spice it up a little bit. I can't really do any like mud or anything, so I can't like just have one stage be a torrential downpour. But light rain and puddles and things I can add, so likely I will do that for at least a couple stages. That as well as like extra cloud cover, time of day, things like that. And there'll be 3 versions of the mod, basically. There'll be the basic version with all just basic time trials. Pick whatever car you want, whatever time of day, and go for it. And then there'll be the expansion pack, which will just be some mod cars and things. So if you don't have mod cars downloaded and you just want to play the mod, they won't be intrusive on your experience. But if you do have modded cars downloaded, such as the Taz and the AW Astro, there'll be configs for those, and then the final version, which will be the last to release, is the competition pack, and that's literally for the competition. And that'll be, you can only pick certain cars, you can only have certain like time of day is set, things like that. I'm looking into getting all the fog settings stint to stint based, because at the moment they're just set to the game's overall info folder. So hopefully I can change that around, because I can add clouds and things, but I can't add fog to a prefab. I can even add like rain and puddles, as I mentioned, to a prefab, but I can't add fog, which is kind of annoying, but it's part of the basic kind of time of day system. I might be able to, similar to how I can set the time for a certain scenario, I wonder if I can set the fog. That literally just came to my brain now as I'm thinking about it, so I'll have to try that, and then hopefully for the next stage I will have an answer for you guys on whether that worked or not. As we get towards the end of this custom dirt road, one of the scariest dirt roads on the whole rally, just because of how fast it is and how narrow. Now onto some pavement as we make our way up into City Vecchia, which I think means like old city or something in Italian. If you know Italian, let me know. I think that's what it means, but I'm not 100% sure. So we get to the end of the asphalt, now on the cobbles. The cobbles are super, super slick, plus a little drainage makes it bumpy. But in the final version, there'll be people all standing, watching, sticking out, watching the cars go by. So we're gonna go up the hill here. As the engine screams and the tires screech, and we bring American freedom noises to the people of Italy. Now going back downhill, you gotta be extra careful. It's all well and good uphill, power down drifting, but it's hard to get this big old beast stopped. You'll notice too, I'm trying to use minimal handbrake where I can, just for realism. Real life, the cars would have stalled. You have to put in the clutch when using handbrake, but I don't have to because I have clutch assist on because I'm on controller. That's actually something I learned today too regarding the stalling, is that early all-wheel drive Group B cars, the center diffs didn't unlock. So if you pulled the handbrake, it would just pull it for all 4 corners. So it was pretty dang useless at doing hairpins as I pulled the handbrake there just out of instinct. But yeah, I learned that today, that the Group B cars, if you pulled the handbrake, it just pulled all 4 corners. So it was literally, it was an emergency brake and nothing more. You couldn't really use it to flick the cars around the corners. You'll even see, if you watch old footage, especially the Audi Quattros, because of how long they were, they will just, like they'll do 3-point turns and things around big hairpins, or just take it super slowly. Sweet. That dirt road, by the way, we just went on, in case you couldn't tell, it's brand new. It's not even really a road, it's a farm track. So we give the wall a little bit of a friendly tap. It's all good. A bit more of a friendly tap there, but again, 90% sure it's all good. Yeah, just some panel damage. Brake light out. It's fine. As long as there's no cops that are going to pull me over on the stage for the brake light, I think we're okay. So we now get down into a Festello. Very technical mid part of this stage. Gives a good contrast. Can't have everything be super fast. Sometimes having the slow stuff makes you appreciate the fast stuff more. So that jump, I guarantee you, in the rally, someone's not going to brake for it and they're just going to destroy themselves at the bottom. I may or may not have done that in one of the outtakes, I guess you'd call it. Cut takes, whatever. So we file our way through narrow alleyways. Almost into the buildings, but not quite. A little bit of handbrake. Able to link that one together. Now back out of Festello and down onto the beach to add yet another terrain. And this sand is super tricky. It's basically, it almost, I'd describe it as the cobblestones of dirt. It drives somewhat similar in terms of how much it slides compared to normal dirt. Now back onto normal dirt, get braked to the hairpin. Beautiful sunset conditions. This will be basically exactly what it is for the competition version of the stages too, as it's the end of the stint / day of the rally. So we're gonna get anchored on the brakes here around these rocks. Some of these rocks I added in too. There's like terrain paint rock usually there in Beam, but there's no rock objects. This bridge is new too. Figured the rally organizers deemed the water splashes too deep, so they built a little wooden bridge for everybody. And we're now gonna get back off of the beach time playground and out onto the tarmac a little bit around the boathouse in the marina, and now back onto a new dirt road. This road is also great, very flowing, good sight lines. Then there's some of those little rock things that'll just reach out and bite you. Most of the stage is like open ditches and you can kind of use them, but then some places there's just some little walls or rocks or whatever that'll bite you. Like there's one there left and right. Usually if there's a sign, there's some of those rocks. Not always though. But once the co-driver's in here with don't cut calls and cut calls, it'll be very helpful. So we're gonna take the rear quarter panel off on some rocks. Not even rocks. I guess rock walls. Made of rocks. Close enough. Pass by the start of the stage. So we've basically done a full loop now. We're gonna go off into a different direction. Brake for the jump. Big clonk on the landing from the big old V8 up front. Brake for the corner. Feels like I'm down on power. Very well might be. I didn't happen to catch if there was a intake damaged or something. That or we're just going uphill. No, it definitely feels like it's down on power, maybe 50 horsepower or so. Just because it's down on power doesn't mean I'm not going to overrun the corners though. It's alright. Thankfully nothing there to hit. This part's also uphill, so it might just feel like I'm down on power. Not sure. Back onto some tarmac. And breathe. A little bit of a relax. You can already see the next barriers coming up though. A little bit of a pull to the left. Doesn't surprise me after the amount of hits this thing has taken over jumps and ditches and whatever else. Now onto one of the straightest roads of the rally, but still gotta be very careful to not destroy yourself over it. Very easy to outbrake yourself for this corner. So we now head to the top of the mountain. You'll see on the other side of this barrier is where we were at earlier, so we're kind of looping around. What you have to do basically to get the stage length to its maximum. Now onto another one of my favorite roads. It's also just used very commonly, so I've gotten a good chance to get used to it. But it's another one of those kind of roller coaster, fast but not too fast sections of gravel. There's some jumps here too you gotta be wary of. Bottom out, not even going over the jump now, and dive off left on our way over the top of the crest, and then we're going to end with the downhill stage from the other day, stage 14 I believe it was, but that's a long way off now, and that I'm definitely going to be taking it easy, because once I get to that point, stage is almost over but not quite. And as I said yesterday, you think you're out of the woods until you're in the woods on fire and upside down. And I'm reusing that line because I rather enjoyed it on look back, and so did a couple others. So I think it's a good saying to not let your guard down too early. Another big slider on the hairpin. This thing is just super fun to drive. Not very fast, but it is also very forgiving, so it might be a good pick for the rally if you're more accident prone. It's big old beefy Detroit steel, keeps it going in a straight line even with a couple clonks. I think its biggest issue is just suspension, that and lack of weight over the rear tires. But it's virtually impossible to spin this car out. It has all the torque in the world, so it doesn't really matter what gear you're in. So it's a very forgiving car to drive. I would recommend it when the mod comes out. Currently this thing is all vanilla parts. I do need to make a new, probably a new supercharger for it, just to give it like, I think it's like 5 more horsepower to meet the regs, which is 0.200 power to weight ratio. And those regs will all be announced soon as well, so people can start building their own cars, tuning their own cars for the competition. So we make our way to the top of the hill, or mountain even. It's not a hill. just staring those rocks in the eyes, and they were staring me right back as I was sliding towards them. But we're good. At this point, 15 minutes in, I think I would just do what I did with the Covette and just reset. And now it's just going to be another case of nursing it all the way back down the mountain. Gotta take it so easy. So heavy of a car. Tough to get it stopped. Brake for the bump. Seems counterintuitive in a rally to not want to jump, but sometimes it's more about car preservation than it is about speed in the moment. It's a good philosophy for life too. Oh, as I ignore my own advice. But yeah, sometimes it's best to just take your time with things and go slower so you can go faster later, rather than go super fast at the beginning and then not be able to go at all later. Oh my goodness. Definitely need the co-driver to clean out my bucket seat after this one. Oh, that's a tree. We're alright. Oh, we've lost our wing. No, the downforce. The definitely 1 pound of downforce that the 70s wing is providing. Probably provides a lift, honestly. Wings in this time are for style, not for performance. At least most street cars. Honestly, I'd be curious to know any street car from late 60s, early 70s that had functional aero. I know obviously some of the race cars did, like the Ford GT40 Mark II, and the F1 cars, the Era and things. It's right when wings were starting to develop. But I don't think any street car from this time period would have had functional aerodynamics. Could be wrong though. Wouldn't surprise me if some of the muscle cars maybe had it for reasons of Trans Am racing, and other touring cars maybe have a similar thing. There goes the windshield. Give the rock a little bit too much of a friendly hello. So we make our way halfway down the mountain now. Front left suspension's collapsed. Yeah, you can hear the rear tires spin up as it gets off the ground due to the front left just not existing. It's going to not exist a little bit more now. It's alright. I actually straightened up the steering. Look at that. Need to not do what I did in the Taz mirror at the end of the stage the other day, where I just pummeled it into a wall because I expected it to have the gravel kind of slide through the corner, and then the front tires slid across the corner instead of letting me kind of hook in. Because the gravel tires, they just they sit on top of the tarmac because they're meant to dig into the gravel, but when they're not able to dig in, they don't have any grip. Yeah, you can hear every little bump now. Just a crunch. Oh, don't flip. We're good. Might not look like it was close to flipping, but sometimes little hills like that are deceptively flip-worthy. Hug the ditch. So we're almost 20 minutes into the stage here. Probably have another minute or two left. Once again, you'll be able to see with the timestamp. I currently have no idea. Oh, Oh, big crunch. There goes the oil pan. Come on, car. We're not that far from home now. You got it. Just sip the oil. Sip it. Thankfully it wasn't that hard of a crunch, so hopefully it doesn't go too quickly. As I accelerate out of here, it's going to probably say low oil, knowing my luck. No, we're good. There it is. Yeah, this might... this might be an interesting one. You can see, though, the beauty of Beam and how just the compounding of damage. Like the suspension damage led to more suspension damage, led to my fender getting damaged, and then all of that combined into making it so that I crunched the oil pan on a jump, and now that's going to cause the motor to fail. And none of that's through big mistakes. It's all just buildup of damage, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing that lacks in almost every single rally game, besides RBR, as I mentioned. Thankfully knew that jump was there. There's a little caution sign too, which is always helpful. The road signs around here are generally pretty useful. So we're getting right near the end of the stage now. 180 onto the tarmac. Added a couple new dirt roads around here, just on and off the beach. You won't see them though until stage 28, which is the final stage, and I finished that one today. It's 20 miles, 25 even. So that's gonna be a fun one when I get around to it. As we're getting right near the end, engine's starved of oil. You got like 3 more corners, buddy. You can make it. Got some good Netflix drama out of this stage. Last corner. And cross the line. This thing is a war-torn beast. Yeah, there's not a straight panel on this car. But that was 22 minutes of rallying in a muscle car in Italy. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you will be back for the next stage, probably tomorrow, maybe the day after. But for now, have a good one, and I will see you later.